American vegetable growers in their 50s and 60s are burning $150 to $300 every July on sprays that kill their own protection. Not because you did not care, because nobody showed you that 12 native perennials recruit those same predators automatically and permanently every season. Before plant number 1, drop your state right now because your USDA zone completely changes which of these performs best for you. Find yours and pay attention. And the one at number 10, kept quietly among serious growers since public talk stopped. Here is what most miss. Plant number 1, Wild Columbine, an $18 perennial that trains ruby-throated hummingbirds to guard your vegetable beds, each one eating 300 to 500 insects daily, including aphids and leafhoppers. Picture red gold spurred blooms nodding along your garden fence at first light in Zone 5, Wisconsin. Hummingbirds darting straight from those flowers into your tomato leaves hunting aphids before you even step outside. Zones 3 through 8, part shade in warm zones, well-drained soil. USDA data confirms this columbine self-seeds freely. One $18 plant fills a full perimeter in 3 seasons. Wisconsin growers plant it beside tomatoes because hummingbirds hunt aphids there for you all July long. Nurseries sell it for $18 once, yet it self-seeds into a full expanding border worth far more every year. The single mistake in zones 6 through 9 is planting it in full sun instead of afternoon shade. Skip that shade, and the plant goes dormant by August, leaving a gap in your barrier for the rest of pest season. So one $18 plant becomes a permanent hummingbird patrol, guarding your tomatoes for free every July. But hummingbirds only handle part of the problem. The next plant recruits pests, hunters that work underneath your leaves, where hummingbirds never look. Have you ever grown a true pest recruiting perennial? Not just a pretty border plant, directly in your garden? And somewhere in this video is the story of a vegetable grower in Wisconsin who spent $220 every season on pesticides for 10 years straight. That story is coming. Keep watching. Plant number 2, Coreopsis, a $16 perennial that recruits tachinid flies, the exact insect that parasitizes the caterpillars and beetles, destroying your vegetable crops every season. Picture a golden cascade of blooms lining your garden edge from July straight through September. Hoverflies and soldier bugs working that border daily, while your vegetables sit protected behind it without a single spray. Zones 4 through 9, full sun, average soil. West Coast seeds, research confirms Coreopsis draws hoverflies, soldier bugs, and tachinid flies that specifically parasitize crop, destroying caterpillars and beetles. This $16 plant blooms longer than almost anything on this list, giving your vegetable garden pest coverage from early July through late September without a gap. That 4-month window means one plant does the work of 3 shorter, blooming perennials combined. The single mistake growers make is deadheading every flower for tidiness. Skip a few seed heads, and this plant self-seeds into a permanent expanding border worth far more than $16 every year. So one $16 plant covers 4 straight months of pest patrol, while you do nothing but watch it work. But Coreopsis stays low. The next plant on this list rises 4 feet tall and pulls in a specialist you have never intentionally invited into your garden before. Did you believe native perennials only attract bees and nothing else useful? Plant number 3, Prairie Blazing Star, an $18 perennial that grows 4 feet tall, doubling as a living fence and a monarch butterfly recruitment station in one single plant. Picture purple rocket spikes towering above your tomato cages in Zone 6, tall enough to block wind-blown pests while pulling specialist pollinators straight to your garden edge every July afternoon without any spray involved. Zones 3 through 9, full sun, well-drained soya. USDA Plants Database confirms this liatrous species reaches 4 feet, taller than the common variety sold at most garden centers. This $18 plant is a monarch nectar specialist, and it self-seeds along your perimeter into a permanent expanding barrier every season without replanting. That height alone creates a wind-blocking wall most growers pay for with fencing instead of a living plant. The single mistake is planting it in wet soil near downspouts or low garden corners. The crown rots in standing water within one season, killing a plant that should have lasted decades. So one $18 plant becomes a living fence and a Monarch recruitment station, expanding wider every season on its own. But the next native perennial does something none of these first three can. It creates a scent wall so powerful that aphids cannot navigate through it to reach your vegetable beds at all. Drop your state in the comments right now. Your USDA zone changes. Which of these performs best for you? Plant number 4, blue sage, a $20 perennial that releases VOC compounds so strong they mask your vegetable scent, confusing pests before they ever locate your tomatoes at all. Picture sky blue spires standing 4 feet tall beside your blazing star. Aphids drifting past your garden edge in July because they simply cannot find the crop hiding behind that aromatic wall. Zones 4 through 9. Full sun, well-drained soya. USDA Plants Database confirms blue sage is a true native sage. Its VOC aromatic compounds documented to interfere with how pest insects locate host plants by scent. This $20 perennial pairs naturally with taller spikes, like prairie blazing star, layering height and aroma into one continuous barrier along your perimeter. That layering blocks both sight and smell, something no single plant achieves alone. The single mistake growers make is cutting it back mid-season for tidiness. That cut removes peak bloom, the exact window when scent, masking protection runs strongest for your vegetables. So one $20 plant builds an aromatic wall that confuses pests before they reach your tomatoes. No spray required. But scent alone cannot stop everything. The next perennial recruits specialist bees that do something no spray bottle can: hunting spider mites directly on your vegetable foliage. Have you grown a true pest recruiting perennial directly in your garden? Drop it below. Plant number 5, Penstemon, an $18 perennial that recruits specialist native bees hunting spider mites directly on your vegetable foliage. Something no spray reaches with that precision. Picture white-pink spires lining your garden edge in July, native bees moving straight from bloom to tomato leaf, while deer walk past without touching a single stem all season. Zones 3 through 8, full sun, well-drained soyan. North Carolina State University Extension confirms Penstemon attracts specialist native bees that also hunt spider mites on nearby vegetable foliage, a dual role few perennials offer. This $18 plant is deer-resistant, meaning your perimeter stays intact even in browsing, heavy rural zones where other borders get destroyed by fall. It self-seeds steadily too, expanding your barrier every season without repurchasing a plant. The single mistake growers make is over. Fertilizing for bigger blooms. That extra feeding makes the plant grow floppy, collapsing the structural border your garden depends on. So one $18 plant recruits bees that hunt spider mites for you. A biological function no spray bottle replicates precisely. But the next plant works differently, entirely. It releases aromatic compounds that confuse adult pest moths trying to navigate toward your vegetable beds at night. And we have not even reached number 10 yet. Did you believe deer resistance meant a plant could not also protect your vegetables? Plant number 6, spicebush, a $28 native shrub whose aromatic leaves release compounds that confuse adult pest moths navigating by scent toward your vegetable beds at night. Picture this shrub anchoring your shaded perimeter corner in July, releasing that natural confusion signal while hosting spicebush swallowtail butterflies through their entire life cycle each season. Zones 4 through 9. Park shade, moist soil. University of Maryland Extension confirms spicebush is the exclusive host for spicebush swallowtail butterflies. Its aromatic leaf compounds documented to interfere with pest moth navigation. This $28 shrub delivers a biological barrier and butterfly production in one planting, a combination almost no other perennial on this list offers. That dual function makes it the structural anchor of your entire perimeter. The single mistake growers make is planting it in full sun for faster growth. Full sun stresses the shrub and weakens the aromatic compound production. Your barrier depends on. So $128 shrub anchors your entire perimeter structurally while producing butterflies as a bonus nobody expects. 6 plants in, and this biological system is already doing what $150 to $300 in pesticides never could. Protecting your vegetables while building habitat instead of destroying it. Earlier at the start of this video, I mentioned a grower in Wisconsin. This is that story. A 64-year-old Zone 5 vegetable grower had spent $220 every July on pesticides for 10 straight years, until University of Minnesota Extension research on companion planting finally convinced him to plant 4 of these perennials as a living perimeter instead of spraying again. By his 3rd summer, he had not purchased a single pesticide, and his tomato yield was up 40%, with aphid pressure gone completely. If you are still watching, this next plant is why I made this video. Not for the algorithm, for the grower who stayed, because I am about to give you the exact perimeter placement formula, which plant goes at which corner to protect every side of your garden at once. Plant number 7, False Indigo Bush, a $22 native shrub that fixes nitrogen in your soil while housing parasitic wasps that lay eggs inside caterpillars, destroying your crops. Picture this 8-foot anchor standing at your garden corner in July, its natural arching branches doubling as wasp habitat while feeding your soil for free, season after season. Zones 4 through 9. Full sun, well-drained soya. USDA Plants database confirms false indigo bush fixes nitrogen naturally, while its dense branching creates habitat for parasitic wasps that lay eggs directly inside crop, destroying caterpillars. This $22 shrub reaches 8 feet, anchoring your perimeter structurally the way a fence post anchors a fence line. That nitrogen fixing also feeds neighboring vegetable beds without any fertilizer purchase required. The single mistake growers make is pruning it aggressively for shape. That natural arching habit is the pest barrier structure itself, and heavy pruning destroys the exact habitat the wasps depend on. So $122 shrub anchors your perimeter structurally while feeding your soil and housing wasps that guard your crops from within. But the most underestimated plant on this list comes next. Documented in traditional medicine for 2,000 years, and it attracts the one beneficial insect that specifically hunts aphids on your tomatoes. Comment which pest destroys your vegetable garden every July. Plant number 8, Sulfile. A $14 perennial documented in traditional medicine for 2,000 years. Its anthocyanins attracting syrphid flies whose larvae consume aphids on your vegetables. Picture this low purple ground cover filling every gap along your garden edge in July. Syrphid flies moving straight from bloom to tomato stem hunting aphids for you all season long. Zones 3 through 9. Full sun to part shade. Moist soya. USDA Plants database confirms self-heal has been used in traditional herbal practice for 2,000 years, and its flower anthocyanins are documented to attract syrphid flies whose larvae consume large numbers of aphids. This $14 plant spreads naturally as ground cover, filling every gap in your perimeter permanently without repurchasing a single plant. That gap-filling role completes what taller plants above it cannot reach. The single mistake growers make is mowing it or treating it as a common lawn weed. Its low growing habit is exactly what makes it the perfect front of border pest barrier layer. So, one $14 plant fills every gap in your perimeter for free, completing the ground level defense the taller plants above it cannot reach. But the next plant does something no other plant here can. It specifically protects vegetable seedlings from the pest that kills them before they even get established. Have you grown a true pest recruiting perennial directly in your garden? Plant number 9, Obedient Plant, a $16 perennial with aromatic square stems that deter fungus gnats, specifically protecting vegetable seedling trays in nearby beds all season long. Picture pink spikes standing beside your seedling starts in July, that aromatic compound working invisibly to keep gnats away while your seedlings establish without a single loss. Zones 3 through 9. Full sun, moist soil. Missouri Botanical Garden confirms obedient plant produces aromatic square stems, documented to deter fungus gnats, specifically around seedling trays. This $16 plant self-seeds and spreads steadily, filling perimeter gaps permanently as it establishes across seasons. That seedling, specific protection matters most in early spring, when young vegetable starts are most vulnerable to loss. The single mistake growers make is planting it in dry soil for convenience. Moist conditions are required for maximum aromatic output, and dry soil weakens the exact defense this plant provides. So one $16 plant protects your most vulnerable seedlings invisibly, a job no other plant on this list handles as precisely. And plant number 10 is still coming. Researchers confirmed over 50 insect species visiting it in a single season. The single most powerful beneficial insect magnet in the American native plant world. Did you believe seedlings needed chemical protection to survive their first weeks? Plant number 10, mountain mint, an $18 perennial, confirmed to attract over 50 insect species in a single season. The most powerful beneficial insect magnet on this entire list. Picture silver-white foliage clouding your garden edge in July, its aromatic compounds repelling Japanese beetles from your vegetable beds while pulling in every predator that hunts them all season. Zones 3 through 8, full sun, average soil. University of Delaware Extension confirms mountain mint attracts more than 50 beneficial insect species in a single season, more than any other plant in this entire barrier system. This $18 perennial also repels Japanese beetles from adjacent vegetable beds through its aromatic silver-white foliage. That combination of repelling one pest while recruiting dozens of predators makes it the anchor of your entire biological system. The single mistake growers make is not containing its spread. Rhizomes expand aggressively, so install a root barrier in smaller gardens before planting. So one $18 plant becomes the single most powerful insect recruiter in your entire perimeter. Confirmed by university research most growers never see. But the plant that completes this biological system comes next. It recruits the predatory wasps that destroy hornworms before they reach your tomatoes, and hosts the Monarch butterfly doing it. Comment which pest destroys your vegetable garden every July. Plant number 11. Common milkweed, a $16 perennial that recruits predatory wasps, guarding monarch eggs, wasps that also hunt tomato hornworms and cabbage loopers on your vegetables. Picture pink glow blooms spreading along your perimeter in July, wasps patrolling between milkweed and tomato rows while monarch caterpillars grow safely beside them all season. Zones 3 through 9, full sun, well-drained soya. USDA Plants Database confirms common milkweed hosts monarch butterflies, while its habitat attracts predatory wasps that hunt tomato hornworms and cabbage loopers directly on nearby vegetables. This $16 plant spreads via underground rhizomes, forming a permanent expanding colony that strengthens your perimeter every year. That dual function, pollinator host and pest predator, makes it irreplaceable in this biological system. The single mistake growers make is removing it as an invasive weed. It is fully native, and its ecological role in your garden perimeter cannot be replaced by any other plant. So one $16 plant completes the biological system, guarding your tomatoes from hornworms while raising monarch butterflies at the same time. And finally, the single most powerful biological defense plant in the American vegetable garden comes next. With 117 specialist bee species, and most growers spray it as a weed. Comment which pest destroys your garden. Plant number 12, goldenrod, a $16 perennial, confirmed to host 117 specialist bee species, many of them parasitoid wasps that specifically target your worst vegetable garden pests. Picture golden bloom clusters completing your perimeter in July, the final piece of a biological system most growers spray as a weed without ever knowing what they destroyed in their own yard. Zones 3 through 9. Full sun, average soil, quat, all, I, R. University of Delaware Extension confirms goldenrod hosts 117 specialist bee species. Many of them parasitoid wasps that hunt vegetable pests other plants on this list cannot reach. This $16 perennial is the most wildlife valuable plant in your entire perimeter, and it self-seeds prolifically, expanding coverage every season for free. That reach makes it the final layer completing your full biological defense system. The single mistake growers make is confusing it with ragweed and spraying it. Goldenrod does not cause hay fever, and removing it destroys your garden's primary defense. So one $16 plant closes out the most wildlife valuable perimeter most growers destroy without ever knowing what it actually protected in their own yard. All 12 plants are in place now, but 3 things about this system almost no source puts in one place are still coming, and the first one changes how you plant every single corner. 3 things about this biological perimeter that almost no source puts in one place. First, place your tallest anchors, false indigo bush and spice bush, at each corner of your garden for structure, wind protection, and maximum wasp habitat coverage. Second, plant mountain mint, common milkweed, and false indigo bush together in one dedicated section, and tomato hornworm pressure measurably drops within a single growing season, permanently replacing $150 of seasonal spray spending. Third, space plant clusters 3 to 4 feet apart rather than solid rows, since those gaps maximize beneficial insect recruitment while keeping full walking access to your vegetable beds for harvesting. Together, these 12 native perennials form a permanent biological investment that compounds every season as they self-seed and expand outward, eliminating $150 to $300 in annual pesticide spending for good. Here is exactly where to begin, based on your exact zone, right now. Here is exactly where to begin. Zone to plants to dollar. For zones 3 through 6, plant wild columbine, prairie blazing star, penstemon, mountain mint, and common milkweed together as your perimeter. 5 cold hardy specialists, totaling under $90 in one-time cost, replacing $150 to $300 in seasonal pesticide spending. For zones 6 through 9, plant blue sage, obedient plant, goldenrod, self-heal, and coreopsis together as your warm zone perimeter. 5 selections built specifically for heat tolerance and long bloom coverage through the hottest months. Pest pressure is peaking right now in July, and beneficial insects begin arriving within 2 weeks of first bloom. So miss this window and your first real result waits a full year. You just discovered 12 native perennials that recruit biological armies to protect your vegetable garden permanently. Tomato yield up 40%. Pesticide bill eliminated completely for good. If this changes how you garden, hit like right now, so other vegetable growers find it before pest season peaks even further. Comment which pest destroys your vegetable garden every July. Then tell me your zone, so other serious growers can find their own starting point below this video. Subscribe to PlantERLab, 50 years of plant knowledge delivered every week, for the grower who actually wants to know, not just the one who wanted the number.